I really don't fuck with the French press, but I'm tasting different things. I brewed it for 10 minutes. Who would really brew a coffee for 10 minutes? We have to challenge the water chemistry that we're actually using. Yeah, I actually said it. I thought it was bullshit, but we have to stay curious in all this because getting better is a cool thing. We live right now. We're doing pretty good. And we're going to get into it, okay? We're just going to get right into it. Today, I want to talk about getting better in the context of coffee, sort of. We'll see how it goes. But getting better in coffee is something that I believe we probably take for granted, or we don't look back in time to see if we're actually progressing. I mean, of course, we are progressing, meaning that we make a cup of coffee, we try it out, we start to develop preferences and things we do like about coffee, things we don't like about coffee, which brewers that we do like, we don't like, and for whatever reason, right? But as we go through the times and the days and the years and everything, I think it's a good time to reflect. For instance, I just had an epiphany, kind of a way of looking at things in a way to where I need to start to realize the progression that I've really made in this whole coffee world. Not for anybody else, but for me. Same thing for you. And do you go through that too, to the point to where you are truly really seeing what works for you and how you have progressed in this whole thing? Let's use an easy, quick example. Right here in front of me is the French press. I'm not too big of a fan of the French press. However, this was my first coffee brewer. Very simple to use. You put coffee in, you wait a couple of minutes and everything, and then you go on your merry-go way. But today, I decided to make a French press coffee. I have my own little recipe that I've been doing with this particular coffee. It's a dark roast. It is a blend of Honduran and Peruvian. Them together don't really make it exciting for me, but those two coffees together, 50-50 split, it works really well, even as a light, medium, and dark roast. And I brewed a cup of coffee from the French press. My recipe was kind of unusual. It's been working out really well, and it's allowing me, same thing with the AeroPress, to taste the coffee for what it is. I can get different elements out of the coffee now with this particular ratio, this particular recipe. And since you are hopefully enjoying the video, you like, subscribe, and the whole makeup of the coffee chain, as I call it. So I'm going to take another sip of it, and here it is. It's interesting. I taste the clarity. It's not so much of a muddy cup anymore with this particular coffee. And I can give you all the stats of it. It's relatively dark, not crazy dark, but enough to where you can taste the flavor of the coffee. I went ahead and grinded it on my EK43 at a 10. It goes to 11, so it's relatively fine. I mean, relatively coarse, more or so ideal for what you would do with a French press. But I would say this is a little bit more fine because I'm dealing with a darker roast. So that's one element. Thanks to the AeroPress is that my coffees tend to like a little bit more time, not like a quick brew. So this was a 10-minute brew. So I stirred it initially. After I stirred it, I waited 10 minutes, then plunged down. And that's what I'm drinking right now. There's no paper filter on this coffee whatsoever. Everything is what it is. It's as non-filter, unadulterated as they would say. And one of the biggest things that I'm starting to understand even more so is water. So I use third wave water with a dark roast profile. I'll go into details later on if I like the dark roast profile, but it was able to bring out the essence, the clarity. I can more so tell you what I'm actually tasting. Can I do it right now? Not right now. We're talking about the point of getting better. And I think getting better is part of that whole experience. It's one of those things to where we know we're getting experience with time, but how does that really look? Every person is totally different. And I'm sure you feel the same way. And as I think about it and come to this conclusion, it's like, wow, with time, I am getting better. But you can get stagnant with time to where you're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know about you, but I've gone through those ruts to where coffee wasn't doing it for me. My coffees weren't tasting good. It felt more like a chore than a ritual. All of that stuff to say, getting better is knowing that you're reaching for something, even if you don't have that particular goal. So how can we continue to get better in coffee, realizing that we won't ever perfect it? I think that's perfectly okay. I think we have to challenge everything, meaning that we have to challenge the beans that we're actually using. We have to challenge the water chemistry that we're actually using. Yeah, I actually said it. I thought it was bullshit, but again, we'll talk about that later. We have to talk about the filters that we're using, our pouring technique, all of that stuff, because all of that will get us closer to that perfection that we're trying to chase. But truthfully, I don't think we're really trying to chase perfection in coffee. I think we're just trying to figure out that coffee for that time, for that moment and everything. And as I sit here and talk to you about this stuff, it's quite interesting that we are in a place to where we can do anything we want. We can buy the gear that we want. We can use the grinder that we want. We can use water. We can use filter water. We can go down deep into the rabbit holes in different parts of coffee. But that's okay, because in our eyes, in the way that we look and view the world, that is our getting better part, right? That is our exploring the discoveries of coffee. You know, I know we do other things. I know we care and love life to the fullest, right? But I know for the most part, the people I'm talking to love coffee. They can't stop thinking about it. As much as they are trying to be a well-rounded person, coffee is their jam, it's part of their lives. Either you geek out or you don't geek out, it doesn't really matter. The point that I'm trying to get to is that we know how to get better in the things that we're trying to do. Like before, as I'm being pushed either by myself or by you all or whatever, it's great to see like, wait, I'm truly really turning the corner here. I'm truly really understanding coffee even more so. So let's keep going. Let's keep exploring what we can do with coffee. So here's another drink of this coffee. Yeah, I could drink this all day. And this is me this is a French press coffee. I really don't fuck with the French press, but I'm tasting different things. I'm exploring the possibilities. And think about it. I wouldn't even try the 10-minute brew on this coffee, but something about just challenging myself, doing something different, pushing myself, seeing what works, what doesn't work, going beyond the norm of things that we always do. That's the beauty of the better part, like the curiosity part. We have to stay curious in all this. I know I sound kind of crazy. I know I do, but all of it matters if you care. And if you care, then whatever story that you're trying to get out of your coffee, that's the story that you're telling. You know, the beginning, you know, the middle and the end, sort of. But you know, through your experience, through the things that you're learning and everything, is that you can truly continue to get better at anything that you want to do. In this case, we're talking about coffee. And it's cool to go back to things that you hated, things that you pondered or questioned, because at that time, that's the experience level that you were at with either the coffee or whatever else that you're dealing with in your life, or what you're dealing with right now. And that's truly, really the beauty of this. So, how do you go about getting better? Do you challenge the norms? Do you push past the safety nets that we're dealing with? Do you push past what somebody else is telling you? Do you challenge yourself to the point where you're like pushing your taste buds to a new level to where you never really thought that it can go? What kind of things are you doing in order for you to really, truly gather the thoughts of getting better? Because getting better is a cool thing. And even with the frustrations, that's part of it. That's part of the journey. And there's no end to this journey. There's just not even a destination. It's just where it goes is where it goes, where you put it, where whoever you listen to, how you're influenced and everything. So that's what I have for you right now. I hope that this wasn't so weird, but kind of giving you a thought or thinking that you're on your own path. You're seeking things out. You're trusting your palate. You're trying to see how good coffee can be in your life and for others. So let's talk about it. Talk to you later. Bye.